Surprise, surprise. You didn't think I'd be back before the new year ended, but indeed I am. So exams sort of happened for a lot of us, and to be honest, that's why I haven't really been putting up much. Exams. Yeah. If you had them, I hope you did the best you possibly could on them. I know I did, sort of. And if you're going to have them soon, then the best of luck to you whilst you take them. Now, on to what I'm going to do today. Today, I'm going to introduce my beginning of my nominations for Game of the Year. Now, you might be wondering, oh, congratulations, you're doing such stereotypical content. Yeah, I am. But everyone does that. Why? Because it's very, very easy to do. Now, why am I just individually nominating them and then just, coming out with one video, at the end of the year? Well, first of all, it's because I have to clarify some things about each individual choice and why they're on there. And secondly, it's because I don't want to really make one of these every single day. I don't have that many games of the year. I have a couple, but I don't have enough to fill it in till the end of December, which to me is honestly when you should announce your Game of the Year, not early December. Spike. I love making terrible, terrible jokes about terrible, terrible shows. But that is all I should say on that matter. Now, a couple things I should get out of the way first. Couple games that will not be at all nominated. And the reasons why. First of all, Dishonored. I know that people absolutely love the game and say that it's one of the greatest games of the year. And certainly, I can look at it and go, I can agree with your enjoyment of the game. However, the main reason it is not being on this list, I haven't played it. I don't like to talk about games that I haven't put my hands on and moved the character and found out about the world. It just doesn't make sense to me. Additionally, that is why Far Cry 3 will not be on this list. Because as much as I love Far Cry 3, from what I've watched of it, I haven't played it. So, sorry, Far Cry. Additionally, a game I have talked about a lot, but will also not be on this list, Assassin's Creed 3. Now, why that game? It's a game I haven't finished. And honestly, if you haven't genuinely completed the game, I don't want to hear your opinion on the game. In essence, when I talk about Assassin's Creed 3, I only talked about what I had played. If I talked about the ending or some of the later parts of being Connor, that wouldn't have made any sense because it's what I hadn't done yet. I still haven't touched that game, and I've been meaning to. So those are the games that I probably won't at all make on this list. In fact, they never will this year. So what games am I going to nominate? I'm going to start out with my lone indie game that I really just dove into and played nonstop. And that is Subset Games FTL, Faster Than Light. And I'm nominating this for Game of the Year as sort of the dark horse candidate, if you would. Now, the reason I'm nominating it is not only for that dark horse reason, but because it did something that I haven't really felt from just about every other indie game I've ever played. Now, granted, that isn't a huge amount, but certainly I've had enough experience watching and seeing and playing indie games to know that this one was special. Versus Minecraft and Terraria and other smaller games that I've played, FTL goes above and beyond to make itself feel unique, despite having a very common indie graphic style, which is that sort of pixely, artish, very simple, stuff you would see in Flash games from 4 or 5 years ago. And how it did it is because you're not really invested in the characters in sort of the way you are in Mass Effect, you have to create your own stories to like your characters. And whenever a character dies, whenever you're a crew member that you've had since the beginning of the voyage gets hauled off by space spiders, or a missile strikes your ship and he's on low health, or she, or it is on low health and it kills your crew member, you feel it. It's something that you just don't normally have in a lot of indie games. Compared to something like Dear Esther, which is a walking storybook, which hardly qualifies as a game, it stands out in that sense alone. It does something that other games need huge engines with loads of processing power and lighting and stuff to do. And it does it by, you know, a couple hundred pixel by pixel image. Which, you know, you can go, oh, well, XCOM did that 20 years ago with UFO defense. You know, you had a soldier you had since the beginning of the game, and he gets killed by some sort of cheap shot, and you feel it. But the big difference is this will happen over and over again because FTL is such a quick game. You can go back to start and do again, and that I think is genuinely unique. An awesome soundtrack with effective combat and a very interesting ship unlocking system with some very unique ways to unlock new ships. FTL receives my nomination for a personal Game of the Year. If you have your own Games of the Year and it does not agree with mine, too bad, I don't care. I absolutely loved FTL, and I hope if you did play it, you did too. That is all for today, ladies and gentlemen. I am back where I used to live, which is why the background's a little different, and also why I haven't really put up much recently. But that is all for me. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I shall see all of you later.